It is common that every subject has few easy questions and few tough questions. And what usually students do, they try to attempt the easy questions because that makes their life easy. But when they get the scorecard, the intelligent students are scoring more than the average and other students. Why so? Because intelligent students always add maximum bullet points to those easy answers also. Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and in the series of Indian Constitution, one of the easy questions that you can attempt is salient features of Indian Constitution. It is easy to attempt this question, but how to score? Here in this presentation, I have brought as many as 20 important features of Indian Constitution, and for most of the answers, I have added bullet points so that you get more score for this particular question. With that, I am taking you to slide number 1. Salient features of Indian Constitution. As I said, we are going to understand as many as 20 features of Indian Constitution, and if you have gone through my earlier 3 presentations, by now you have strong foundation already. The first and foremost important feature of Indian Constitution is our constitution is in written form, or this is a written constitution which came into force on 26th January 1950. I have already told the timeline story, the people involved, the Constituent Assembly with 299 people, all of that story I have already told. They sat in 11 sessions, that is 165 sittings, in which 114 sittings they have utilized for debating on the draft, and overall in 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, they completed our constitution, and this constitution came into existence with the total cost of 64 lakhs. Now this is all about our constitution being written constitution, and if you write this much, you will get sufficient mark as far as that one point is concerned. The second important feature of Indian Constitution is our constitution is the lengthiest constitution in this world. Our original constitution as on 26 January 1950 had 395 articles, 8 schedules and 22 parts. But as of now, that is 2021 August, we have as many as 470 articles, 12 schedules and 25 parts. But if you refer the constitution, even today, the last article of the Indian Constitution is 395. How is that? Because the new articles are not separately added, but they are added as a part of an existing article. That is why the end of article is always 395 to the date. So that is one another aspect you need to remember. And how many amendments have gone through to add so many articles, schedules, etc. It is 105 amendments as of August 2021. These are the important aspects that you need to mention when you are writing Indian Constitution is a lengthiest constitution. The third important feature is Indian Constitution is inspired by different sources, or we have taken lot of aspects from different constitution from this world. I have already made a session on sources of Indian Constitution. There I have taught you the technique of if you see Jasusji, where I have covered 11 sources starting from India, France, USA, Canada, Japan, Australia, Soviet Union, UK, South Africa, Germany and Ireland. These are the sources of Indian Constitution. We have referred these constitutions when we did our constitution, and that is the third important feature of Indian Constitution. The fourth and fifth features are we have fundamental rights and fundamental duties in our constitution. Fundamental rights are discussed in part 3 of Indian Constitution starting from article 12 to 35, and this is being inspired by USA Constitution, whereas fundamental duties are discussed under part 4A of Indian Constitution. There we see only one article, that is article 51A. Now you can compare with the feature number 2 with feature number 5, because there you are seeing an amendment and adding an article, but that is not taking a new place. It is being added in one of the part and as an additional article. So part A and article 51A, that is how the new parts as well as new articles are added. So that is one another observation you can make. And remember, we got inspired from Soviet Union as far as fundamental duties are concerned. With that, I am taking you to next slide. The sixth feature is we have parliamentary form of government under Indian Constitution, and the leader of the country under this system is Prime Minister of India, and every state has their own leader in the form of Chief Minister, and to support this Prime Minister, Chief Minister, etc., we have Council of Ministers or Cabinet who support the lead. And how are they coming to power? The party with majority forms the government. That is the module we need to remember. That is the sixth salient feature of Indian Constitution. The seventh important feature of Indian Constitution is it has directive principles of state policy, and the same is discussed under part 4 of Indian Constitution between article 36 to 51. This concept is being inspired by the Irish Constitution. While discussing DPSP, you always need to remember DPSP's Directive Principles of State Policy. You need to always remember that Part 3 discusses about fundamental rights and Part 4 discusses about Directive Principles of State Policy. Part 3 is our rights which are enforceable by law, whereas Directive Principles of State Policy, which is discussed under Part 4, are the moral obligation to the government. They are not enforceable by law. These are giving the intention or the aim or the guidelines to the government that how they need to create a welfare state, how they have to ensure that good social and economic condition for the people to ensure that they are leading good life. Now, these are the important moral obligation on the states, but they are not enforceable by law. These are the important aspects you need to remember as far as directive principles of state policy. The eighth feature is about the amendment of constitution itself, whether it is rigid or flexible. Before I get in there, you need to understand that the British Constitution is a very flexible constitution. By bringing a new Parliament Act, UK government can make amendments in its constitution, whereas in USA the same process is very rigid. To make any amendment in US constitution, the process is very tough. But when it comes to India, we are mixture of both rigid and flexibility. Few of the amendments are very easy with just 2/3 majority in the parliament, whereas few are very tough where we have lengthy processes. So we can call Indian Constitution as the mixture of rigid and flexibility. The ninth feature is Indian Constitution is mixture of federal system as well as unitary features. Now Article 1 of Indian Constitution says we are union of states. That way it makes clear that we have federal system. We have federal system in many ways. We have central and state governments. We have division of powers among the three organs of the states, that is legislature, executive and judiciary, and we believe that constitution is supreme. We have an independent judiciary and we have bicameral legislature. Bicameral is we have Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So we have this system which says that we have federal system. But that's not the end of it. We also have few very important unitary features, like we have a strong central government which leads the entire nation. So they have lot of powers with them, including the residual powers. After discussing the state list, central list and concurrent list, whatever is remaining, that is also with the central government. The emergency provisions are taken care by the central government, and appointment of governors to each of the states are done by the president on the basis of the advice of the central government. That way we have lot of unitary features. So it is mixture of both federal as well as unitary government system. The 10th feature is an independent topic by itself. All the topics that we are discussing here are an independent topics. or every bullet point that I have given here are the independent topics. But one very interesting topic is parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. This is a very interesting jugalbandi that we have seen with the form of different case laws. I think I already have a video in my playlist regarding this, where we are discussing the Article 368 versus Article 13, or Parliament has the power to amend major portion of the Indian Constitution, whereas Supreme Court of India has the power to judicial review under Article 13. Now that is the clash between Article 368 versus Article 13, and we see lot of case laws in that interesting warfare. And we also need to remember that there are two important powers with the court, that is in the form of writ, Supreme Court under Article 32 and High Court Article 236. So if any of the fundamental rights are violated, we can directly approach Supreme Court or High Court under Article 32 or Article 236 respectively. So this gives an indication that we have parliamentary sovereignty, where the parliament got power to amend the major portion of the constitution, but it can be judicially reviewed by the Supreme Court of India, which says there is judicial supremacy also. So that is the 10th feature of Indian Constitution. The 11th important salient feature of Indian Constitution is we have an independent and integrated judiciary system. Now our judiciary system is a vertical judiciary, and here we have Supreme Court in the top, then we have High Court, then for criminal cases we have Session Court, or we have District Court and other courts accordingly. Now one very important aspect that you need to remember is whenever Supreme Court gives a particular judgment, that particular judgment needs to be respected by all the states. That is a very important aspect you need to remember. That is called rule of precedent. But in a later judgment, Supreme Court can overrule its own judgment. That is possible, but High Courts cannot overrule the Supreme Court judgment. That is rule of precedent. However, if a particular High Court gives a judgment, that is not an obligation to other states. They can refer, but that is not an obligation. But saying so, if Karnataka High Court gives a judgment, that becomes precedent to all the other courts which are in Karnataka. So all the lower courts of Karnataka should follow the judgment of the Karnataka High Court. That is what you need to remember as far as precedent to the High Courts. Now these are very important aspects when it comes to the 11th feature. Along with that, you also need to remember that High Courts have the responsibility of enforcing both central laws as well as state laws. That is one another aspects you need to remember. Not only to the High Court, even when cases are taken to the Supreme Court will also keep an eye on the state laws, because we have central list, state list and concurrent list. So when the concepts are coming from state list, states have power to make laws. So that Supreme Court will keep an eye on the state laws also. That way the courts will see or keep in their mind while applying any law on the central as well as state laws. The next two features that we have to discuss together are serial number 12 and serial number 14. Rather, I should have mentioned serial number 14 first. We are the biggest democracy in this world. Now, how is this country democratic? Because we choose our leaders. We choose our leaders for both center as well as our respective state, that is to the House of the People and Legislative Assembly. Now, that way we are the biggest democracy. And how are we choosing the government? That is the 12th feature. That is, we have universal adult franchise. That means we elect our leaders with the form of universal adult suffrage. That means the Indian citizen, whoever has attained the age of 18 years, has the power to vote, and by voting we select our MPs as well as MLAs. So that is a very important provision. Here there are only two requirements. One, he or she needs to be Indian citizen. Two, they should have attained 18 years. There is no consideration of their wealth, income, gender, social status, race, ethnicity, political stance, etc. It is just being the citizen of India and attaining the age of 18 years. All such people will get right to vote, and that vote will decide who will rule this nation or who will be the leader of this nation via central government as well as state government. What is the 13th feature? We in India have single citizenship. There are many countries in this world who have double citizenship, but we have single citizenship. First of all, we need to understand what is double citizenship and what is single citizenship. We in India have only one citizenship, that is Indian citizenship. We don't have state citizenship as such. Like I have Karnataka citizenship, someone has Maharashtra citizenship, or somebody has Madhya Pradesh citizenship, or Delhi citizenship, or West Bengal citizenship. These kinds of citizenship we don't have. We have only one citizenship, that is to the country, that is Indian citizenship. But there are many countries in this world who have double citizenship, and here what I have done to recall you guys which are the sources of Indian Constitution, I have brought those names again so that you can recall who are the sources of Indian Constitution. In double citizenship we have UK, USA, Ireland, Australia, France, Canada, Russia and South Africa, whereas when it comes to single citizenship we have it in India, and Japan also follows the same. So this is about single citizenship. The 15th feature is a very important feature which is available in our preamble also. We are a sovereign nation. We decide what is good for us and what is not good for us. We decide as to which international things we need to be participate or we don't want to participate, which international body we want to represent and which we don't want to, which covenants, conferences, treaties we want to be the part of and which we don't, when to start war or end the war for the national safety and security. All of these decisions are taken by us. We are a sovereign nation. Nobody controls us. That is what we need to remember. But we are living in this world, so there is always connections available. But to the fact, we need to know that we are a sovereign nation. And then we are a republic country. We don't follow any kind of monarchy here. Our representatives are elected by us and they are not permanent. We can change them in every election. That is what we need to remember. We are a republic country. We have emergency provisions that we are going to discuss in detail, the three different kinds of emergency provisions. And then we also have Panchayat Raj system, which is three-tier system, which is a very interesting concept which we are going to discuss in one of our independent session. And then we have serial number 19 and 20, that is judicial reviews and bicameral legislature as salient features of Indian Constitution. If you remember, while discussing serial number 10, I have mentioned in bold as far as judicial reviews under Article 13 is concerned. There I have given glimpse of this particular point. And bicameral legislature, while discussing serial number 9, I have discussed on this also. Why I have brought them here again? Because they as an independent point also are the important feature of Indian Constitution. So these are the 20 salient features of Indian Constitution, and as I said earlier also, this is not the end. There are many more, but I have tried here to bring 20 most important features of Indian Constitution, and I hope this helps. And with that, I am handing over this presentation to Nishan.
With that, I'm concluding this session. Please subscribe our channel. Please like, share and comment our videos.